Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to America Defender. Just real quick, I took up this little project and I finished it today, and I'm happy with it. Um, so I got a fishing rod tower that I built on the back of the boat here. I've been looking at them for a couple years since I got the boat, and refused to pay the prices that everybody wants for theirs. So I decided I'm going to make my own. I can do that for damn near free. All right, and so that's what I've done here. So this is just to give you an idea if you're thinking about how can I do this. I did use a mill and a welder, but you don't have to have the mill. You might be able to get away with it somehow without a welder. I highly doubt it. A welder's pretty much a have-to-have thing, but the mill you can get away with. All right, not having that. So, what is this made out of? What did it cost? Like I said, it cost me $6 to build the thing. All right. And that's the bolts. Yeah, it's all the bolts, everything else I had. So, supplies. You're going to want to find somebody giving away an old trampoline frame, because that is what I made that out of, is trampoline frame. That is trampoline frame. The holders themselves are trampoline frame. They're steel. The uprights are part of the trampoline frame. This is a piece of 1/2-inch square stock off of a wrought iron fence. And these little 90s down here are a piece of a bed frame. All right. So, pretty self-explanatory. Weld upright. Well, measure your upright to what you need. In my case, it was 18 inches. Would clear everything. So measure the upright, 18 inches. You can go. I was going to go 20, but I think I went 18. So measure it 18 inches. Cut them out. I used a cut-off wheel. 1/8-inch plate for the bottom. Center drilled it on the mill, and then I used a 1.25-inch hole saw. Sawed about halfway through this material here. All right, it's about 1/16 of an inch, just to give the pipe a footing into the material. Welded it on, drilled my 4 holes, came back to the boat, located those 4 holes onto the boat with everything in place, drilled them, bolted them up. And then again, pretty simple. 1/2-inch wrought iron, cut it at an angle here to match. Tacked it on down here. I notched the end to match the curvature of the bed frame here. This bed frame piece is 2 inches wide, 2 inches wide. Tacked it in place, welded it all back up, painted it up with some etching primer and brown camo paint I had left over. The tubes up here are also part of that trampoline, and you can see I can pull like a son of a gun on there, and it ain't going nowhere. All right, I can get on here on my old catfish rod and bend her on down and lean all 300 and plus pounds of me onto it, and it ain't going nowhere. All right, and then your catfish, since you're fishing off the back, is going to pull away from you. So this is rock solid. All right, they ain't going to lift that at all. They ain't going to pull it over because this is hooked into the transom. I didn't drill this or screw anything into here because I didn't want any water getting in there, and it doesn't need to be. And I wanted to make it to where if I need to remove this for whatever reason, then I don't have a hole left here. All right, so I just take these 4 off. This comes off in one piece, and that's it. Okay. The other thing I wanted is I wanted a tower set up that would handle the larger rods. And when you buy these tower setups, it's going to handle the large rods, or it's going to handle the small rods, but you've got to buy the actual holders to attach to the tower, and it's a pain in the butt. All right, so I was just like, screw that. And so I wanted it to where it would hold my larger rods, but let's say I don't want to use the larger rods. Say I'm just going to go out fishing for bait or bass. Well, it's about the same thing to a cat fisherman. Either way, I digress. So I decided to take this off. This just comes off, and bada boom. Smaller pole holders. Okay. They function as a smaller pole holder. All right. So if I want to put a bass rod in here and troll, I can. All right. Another thing that I liked about this is I can flip it around. All right. So try to do this one hand is a little tough. All right. So I flip it around like so. And when I'm in transport for whatever reason, I don't want my rods hanging out the back of the boat. So, flip it around, put them towards the front of the boat. They're out of the way. You know, they're not getting stuck on anything, wrapped up in anything. And I'll get my old Zebco up here. Poke it in here. All right. And so now you got your fishing poles on there. You can tow it on home and be just fine. Now, as far as, again, holding these in, because I know some folks are going to be like, well, normally you're supposed to have like a U-bolt sitting out up here. I'm going to go with chain. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a hook on one side, just weld a little hook on one side, and I'm going to get some, thin chain that'll handle, I don't know, 300 pounds. Doesn't have to be heavy duty. Tack weld it to one side, and then make it to where it'll wrap around the reel, the front of the reel, and just put it on a hook, on the other side. And that way, if something does happen to pull forward on the rod to pull it out, that change there, it'll stop it. All right, so something simple. All right, but there it is, guys. Hopefully this gives you all some ideas. Yeah, now I'm going to finish cleaning my boat, getting it put back together, getting it ready, because here in about a week we're going to Bartlett, and this year's the year I break Flathead Ed's record. I feel it. It's coming. I'm going to do it. That 85 pounder's out there waiting for me, and she's all mine. So with that, God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you on the flip. Bye now.